Hello, it's Rachel here. I'm doing a little bit of Sunday morning relaxing car unwitnessing. I brought my crochet and I'll have a bit of a chat, and I usually sit here for about an hour, so I do a video and then do some crochet. There's the Kingdom Hall, and where are we? My car, if you can see it. And I've just got the sign on the side. Sort of mainly trying to appeal to those young ones who might, because we know there's a lot of them that don't really want to be there, but they can't leave because they've got no support. You probably can't hear me because it's a bit windy, so I'll get back in the car. Bit of a change from the lovely weather in Cairns, where my husband and I had 4 nights in a luxury resort courtesy of his employer, which was very nice. We don't usually get to stay in places like that. Usually we sort of holiday on the cheap as possible. So yeah, it was very nice, and just what we both needed, I think, although rewarding him with a little holiday like that doesn't really make up for all the extra time that he works, spending a lot of his weekends working as well. So anyway, it's better than nothing, isn't it? Anyway, where should I put this? Yeah, maybe, so I don't have to hold it. Yesterday, here in New Zealand, in Wellington, we had a nice little ex-JW meetup. We had 10 of us there in total. Two people weren't actually ex-JWs, but they were from the Humanist Society, and they have quite an interest in people exiting high control groups and want to see what they can do to assist. So that was very nice that they came along, and also I think they were curious and fascinated as well. So yeah, we had a lovely gathering in a local pub, and it started at 3. I didn't leave till 8. The time just really flies. And I think everyone who was there had a really good time, and we're going to try and schedule more of these meetups, but trying to draw ex-witnesses or faded witnesses out of the woodwork is a bit of a job here in New Zealand, because we only have 14,000 Jehovah's Witnesses, and we're kind of spread far apart. So anyway, we'll keep at it and advertise it more. Something I was going to talk about too is here in New Zealand at the moment, they are reviewing the Charities Act. It hasn't been reviewed for over a decade, and people involved with charities have been pushing for a review for that long. I think about 12 or 13 years they've really been pushing the government to do a review. And finally, they are doing one. They're in the middle of it now. But the unfortunate thing is it's not really a complete review. It's only a partial review. The Minister of Communities and Voluntary Sector, I think he's something like that, he's called, had decided himself that the fundamental principles of the Charities Act were sound. One of those principles being that religion, the advancement of religion, is of public benefit. So religions automatically get a free pass when it comes to getting charity registration and the tax exemption that comes with that. So I hate to think how many, New Zealand actually has a very high number of charities compared to other countries in the Western world. So you wonder if it's actually too easy to qualify as a charity here. And I think the fact that all religion is considered beneficial automatically just indicates, it's very easy to be a religious charity here. Anyway, I do urge any particularly Kiwi ex-witnesses who have an interest in this, an interest in seeing Jehovah's Witnesses, the organisation, scrutinised, And it's difficult because every congregation is registered as a separate charity. So if you make a complaint against Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, it's the one that you were involved with. Just one, where it's really the whole organisation following all the same policies is the problem. Anyway, yes, please do, if you're interested, please make your feelings known. You can write to the minister, Peeni Henare, and I'm probably pronouncing his lovely name wrong. And you can also find out the names of the people involved in the review that are on what's called the core reference group. And I have been in touch with one of the ladies on there who she's a charity lawyer. And it's quite apparent that people like her are extremely frustrated with the way charity services, which used to be called the Charity Commission, the way they inconsistently apply the Charities Act. She said that she's seen a lot of very good charities lose their registration because of some trivial matter, and a lot of charities are refused registration because of some trivial thing, whereas organisations that have demonstrable harm, like Jehovah's Witnesses, just get a free pass. Because she looked at the videos or some of the links that I sent her showing how shunning is actually mandated by the organisation. It's not a matter of personal choice. So she says all the evidence is there, and it's absolutely appalling that organisations like that have still got charity registration. She feels it's clear that they're not in the public benefit. Yeah, so she's offered her services to help, but not pro bono. So, but it would only be a complaint against my local charity, this Kingdom Hall Upper Hutt. I mean, even in the best case scenario, say if they lost their charity registration, the same thing would have to be done for all the other 200 plus congregations. I mean, that's not really what my aim is. I mean, it's like a lot of people in the country, religious and non-religious people, they do want to see the government redefine what charitable purpose is, because they see a lot of tax revenue being lost. Gloria Vale, which is a cult on the west coast of the South Island of New Zealand, has been in the news a lot. It's a small cult. It's basically a large family. There are several hundred people in it. It's an isolated community that keep to themselves pretty much, although once a year I think they host a concert and give out free bread and greymouth or something. Probably that has to satisfy their public benefit requirement, I don't know. But anyway, that's an extremely profitable family business, basically. They make loads, millions of money. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. If you didn't hear that, I just let out a weird sound. It wasn't quite a burp, it was something weird. Anyway, yeah, so they make a ton of money. They also, the people who live and work there, supposedly they get paid, but they don't actually see that money. In the end, I think it all ends up in the coffers of the community, the Gloria Vale Trust. But anyway, they get paid big bucks in tax credits. So presumably they are supposedly paying tax on their incomes. But then I think when they donate everything to the trust, they probably get more tax back. I don't know how it works. I wish I knew. But we can be sure that there's millions of dollars lost in tax revenue for the government to benefit all New Zealanders. Yet this group doesn't do anything for the public really, and it actually harms its own members. Although quite often they don't really realise that until they leave. But they split up families you know, and all that, the mental conditioning, the undue influence that comes with being part of a high control group, where really you don't really have, you can't really freely exercise your will or your conscience. Okay, the meeting's ending now, and one person's driven past. I don't know if they would have seen my sign, but it's a bit obscured by a parked vehicle, but anyway. So, it's interesting, I can see close up who's going by. Maybe I should turn my thing around. Anyway, so with this Charities Act review, given that so many people involved in charities have been pushing for a full review, including a review of the definition of charitable purpose, and they haven't got a response from the government to do that, I can't see that anything that we can do can do that. It's a shame, because they probably won't do another review of the Act for at least another decade. But I guess what we can do is raise public awareness about this. You know, if the public realise just how much they are in effect subsidising these damaging groups through their taxes, you know, like they have to pay more tax basically, because what these groups aren't paying isn't going to public services or anything to benefit the whole of the country. They really just benefit their own. So please feel free to write letters or talk to your local MP and just educate people about it, because they can't care about it if they don't know about it, and see how it affects them. Like one thing I've thought of doing is like educating parents as they come out from school, perhaps have a flyer to warn them about how some groups, including Jehovah's Witnesses, their children are encouraged to view school as their territory, and to place literature with their schoolmates, direct them to the website, to the children's cartoons, and this can all be done without parental knowledge. And I think this is a dangerous thing that parents need to be aware of. So I think educating people, you know, and in time maybe we will see change in legislation as the harmful effects of some of these groups become more widely known. So we need to advertise the harmful effects of Jehovah's Witnesses and other similar groups. So I think that's about all I've got to say today, and I'm going to do some crochet. I've got my bag of buttons and I crochet petals on them and turn them into flowers, which can end up as brooches or hair ties for little girls, or they can just be used for decorating anything. I'm a bit of a crafty person. I like having something like that to do. You know, I've been making jewellery. Some of it is crocheted as well, but most of it isn't. So this isn't the only stuff I do. Okay, I have got a life, although I quite enjoy doing this. Anyway, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.